Hello, friends and students. Today I am going to tell you about the question and answers of the chapter number 1, The Artist at Work from Adventures of Tom Sawyer. So, the next is the question is about antonyms. Match words in the list with the antonyms of the box. So, how can we match it? Words antonyms. The first word is vigor, and the antonym of the vigor is weakness. The next word is innocent, so the antonym is guilty. The third word is discourage, so the antonym is encourage. Miserably, so miserably, the antonym of miserably happily. The antonym of the word cautiously, recklessly. The antonym of the word vanished, appeared. So I'm moving to right. So what is it? So we have to do as synonyms. So match words in the list with synonyms from the box. So the first word is calculated. The synonym of calculated is controlled. So the synonym of privilege is honor. Synonym of word suspicion is doubt. So the synonym of word is sacred is holy. The synonym of frightened is scared, scary. So the word astonishment synonym is surprise. Moving towards the next slide, I am moving towards the question answer. So, making sentences, put these words into the correct order. Making sentences, put these words in the correct order to make sentences. So the first sentence, we have to rearrange it to make a proper sentence related to the chapter The Artist at Work from the Adventures of Tom Sawyer. And then for a moment, a Polly broke, stood into gentle, a laugh, surprised. Aunt Polly stood for a moment surprised and then broke into a gentle laugh. Ha 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 ha. So the next question is, make work, it's to him Saturdays harder. Yes, it's very difficult to work on Saturdays for Tom Sawyer because if most of the boys are playing on Saturday. So the correct sentences will be when we arrange it. So it's hard to make him work on Saturdays. Who? It's for Tom Sawyer. It's hard to make Tom Sawyer work on Saturdays. So you can say it's hard to make him work on Saturdays. Next sentence is yards, broad, 9, high, 30 of fence feet. 30 yards of broad fence, 9 feet high. 30 yards of broad fence, 9 feet high. With was vigor, Tom whitewashing. Tom was whitewashing with vigor. Tom was whitewashing with vigor. Me let little Tom whitewash. Tom let me whitewash a little. Tom let me whitewash a little. Tom let me whitewash a little. The next sentence is, had all as Tom manner things of the for whitewashing of privilege of collected payment. Tom had collected all manner of things as payment for the privilege of whitewashing. Actually, as a payment was, I thought it is misprinting in the book, that was not written in the book, but there was as there. So I put payment here. If it is not so, what can you write down? Tom had collected all manner of things for the privilege of whitewashing. Had all as Tom manner things of the for whitewashing of privilege of collected payment. So if you want to cut it out payment, so you have to cut out as well. So Tom had collected all manner of things as payment for the privilege of whitewashing. So, okay, we are moving towards the next slide. Which character? Who speaks these words and to whom, when and where? So you can say here we are going to discuss about the which dialogue related to the which character of the story. So hang the boy, I ought to know his tricks by now. So this line has been spoken by Aunt Polly to Tom Sawyer when he ran out of the door and across the garden, because he was hiding under the cupboard of the Aunt Polly and she was searching him. So he ran out of the door and across the garden. So you can write it like this. For example, you can give the reference where you get it, this dialogue. So you should write it down. For example, this dialogue you have taken from the chapter number 1 of The Artist at Work from Adventures of Tom Sawyer, and explanation will be like this. This line has been spoken by Aunt Polly to Tom Sawyer when he ran out of the door and across the garden. The next question is, Aunt, I thought you sewed his collar with white thread, but that's black. This line has been spoken by Sydney to Aunt Polly when Tom Sawyer was eating his supper. This line has been spoken by Sydney to Aunt Polly when Tom Sawyer was eating his supper. Can't, Master Tom. Miss Polly told me to attend to my business. So this line has been spoken by Jim to Tom Sawyer when Tom was whitewashing the fence. So the next is, stop her, sir, ling-a-ling-a-ling. It was very interesting paragraph of this chapter. So what was happening in this line? Actually, the band Roger was trying to make a steamboat and he was singing it like this. This line has been spoken by Band Roger when he was pretending to be a steamboat while Tom was whitewashing the fence. I'm not lying, Aunt. It's all done. It is all done. This line has been spoken by Tom Sawyer to Aunt Polly when Tom presented himself before Aunt Polly after finishing whitewash. Well, you can work when you put your mind to it. Tom, this line has been spoken by Aunt Polly to Tom Sawyer when she found the entire fence whitewashed. This line has been spoken by Aunt Polly to Tom Sawyer when she found the entire fence whitewashed. Actually, she was amazed. So the next slide is, did you understand? Write short answers to the following questions. What was the stuff that Aunt Polly saw on Tom's hands and mouth? Jam was the stuff that Aunt Polly saw on Tom's hands and mouth when she caught him in the cupboard. So the next question is, why did Aunt Polly reach out and touch Tom's shirt? Aunt Polly reached out and touched Tom's shirt to find out whether he goes to school or he went to somewhere else. She was trying to check it out. So the next question, it's up to you how you manage to write down these answers. It's totally up to you. I am just giving you the theme, what the answer should be. So you can write it in your own words as well. So the question number 3, describe how Tom painted the fans. You can also write down, Tom got his friends to whitewash the fans by manipulating them and saying it was easy and fun to do. Tom convinces Ben that whitewashing a fence is great pleasure. And after some bargaining, Ben agrees to give Tom his apple in exchange for the privilege of working on the fence. Over the course of the day, every boy who passes ends up staying to whitewash, and each one gives Tom something in exchange. In this way, Tom painted the fence and took help from other boys to finish whitewashing. So let me repeat it again and try to repeat with me and learn it. Tom got his friends to whitewash the fans by manipulating them and saying it was easy and fun to do, because Tom likes to do and he is very interested to paint the fence. But actually it was not that so, because Tom doesn't like to do work on weekends, and he has no interest in doing painting or whitewashing the fans. So Tom convinces Ben Roger that whitewashing a fans is great pleasure, and after some bargaining, Ben agrees to give Tom his apple in exchange for the privilege of working on the fence. Over the course of the day, every boy who passes ends up staying to whitewash, and each one gives Tom something in exchange. In this way, Tom painted the fence and took help from other boys to finish white. So, wow, we are moving towards the next slide. So, did you understand? It is continue. So, the next question is, what made Jim fly down the street? Actually, Jim was going to collect water, but what happened in the meanwhile? Jim stared at the marble and weekend when Tom Sawyer showed him marble. Actually, Tom Sawyer manipulated Jim also, he was trying to convince Jim for whitewashing the fence. So, what was the weakness of the Jim? Jim likes marbles. So, Tom Sawyer gave him show him marble that he will give him in return if he will start doing whitewashing on the fence. So Jim stared at the marble, and weekend when Tom Sawyer showed him marble, the attraction of the marble was too much for him. He put down his bucket and took the white marble. It made him flying down the street with his bucket, and he started to do whitewashing. So you can also write it down like this. It's up to you. How do you want to elaborate your answers? It's completely up to you. It's just for the example, or you will get your answers like actually what is happening over there. So next question is, who were the innocents who Tom trapped to do his work? So who were the innocents? Innocents were Jim, Ben, Roger, Sid, and some other boys as well were innocents who Tom trapped to do his work. Why did Aunt Polly think Tom was lying? Aunt Polly thought Tom was lying because he did not show any interest in whitewashing before. That's why she thought so, that he must be lying. Okay, the next question is, who did Tom see near Jeff Thatcher's house? Who did Tom see near Jeff Thatcher's house? Tom saw a new girl near Jeff Thatcher's house. She was having a lovely little blue-eyed creature with bright yellow hair. And who was she? She was Becky Thatcher. But at that time, he didn't know about who is she. But he found a girl. Next slide, we are moving towards, did you understand? It is continued further on. Why did Tom start to show off? Tom started to show off in all sorts of boyish ways in front of Becky Thatcher in order to win her admiration and get her attention. So I am moving towards the next question. Question number 9. What did Tom do with the flower thrown by the girl? So the answer is, Tom had the flower thrown by the girl button inside the coat, next his heart or next his stomach, possibly, for he was not too sure for the exact position of his heart. So the next question is, how did Tom get wet in the girl's garden? Tom Sawyer went to girl's garden and the window went up. A maid servant's unmusical voice broke the night's holy calm, and a flood of water poured down upon the Tom's body. That is why Tom got wet in the girl's garden. So that was actually happening. So I am moving towards the next slides. These are further questions. So why did Aunt Polly think that she will be the ruin of Tom? Why is it so? Aunt Polly had to punish Tom Sawyer on staying away from school to realize him that it is very important to go to school. Although she knew that Tom didn't like to work on Saturday when all the boys were playing. According to her, it's her duty to make him realize, otherwise she will be the ruin of Tom if she did not punish him. So that's why she thinks so. She thought of that if she will not punish him, that she will be the ruining of Tom. So that is actually happening. Actually, Tom Sawyer was the boy of her dad's sister, so that's why she always take care of to look after him, and she didn't want to punish him, she didn't want to beat him, but sometimes did it because it's her duty to make him realize the importance of the school, to the importance of uh, living properly in the life. So that's why she uh, think that she will be the ruin of Tom if she did not punish him. Why did life seem hollow to Tom on Saturday morning? Life seems hollow to Tom Sawyer on Saturday morning because he had to whitewash 30 yards of broad fence 9 feet high. That is 30 yards of broad fence, but and its height is 9 feet. So it is very time consuming and it's very boring for Tom Sawyer rather than playing or going outside somewhere on Saturdays and spending time with others. So it was very tough job for the Tom Sawyer. So I am moving towards the next one. So what was Ben Rogers doing while pretending to be a steamboat? It was very interesting. So Ben Roger was giving a long melodious whoop at intervals, followed by a deep tone ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, dong, ding dong, dong, ding dong, dong. For he was personating a steamboat. That was very interesting paragraph. I really like it. How did Tom settle with Sid for getting him into trouble? Tom came home early to help Jim and Sid in whitewashing, but Sid was already through with his part of the work, for he was a quiet boy and had no troublesome ways. In this way, Tom settled with Sid for getting him into trouble. Settled. So now it's the end of the video, and we have done all the questions and answers of the chapter number 1 of the Tom Sawyer, the artist at work. Thank you so much. Hopefully, you will enjoy it. Bye bye.